Hello, welcome back to Wee Willie Wonderfuls. It's looking something like a giraffe horror show here at the moment. So now we're going to put all the parts of your giraffe together. I will show you as much as I can without boring you too much with too many videos. It does tell you on the pattern how to put all these together, but I'm just going to show you so you can see a little bit easier. Grab our giraffe body and the head. Remember, the head needs the marker right at the top centre, central as possible, because that's the way it's shaped. Now if you look, so you can see it clearly. Oops, on camera. Right, so we've got the marker top centre, which marks the front of her face. We're going to pop the head on like that. Make sure we've got plenty of stuffing in the neck so that it's nice and firm. Might just pop a little bit extra in. So if we don't have enough in the top of the neck, the neck could be a little bit floppy. We don't want that. The easiest way to hold it together while you're sewing, you don't have to do this, but I find it's a really easy way to do it, is get everything centered so that you're happy with it. So we want her head in the center. We want it maybe just a little bit back like that. Just so it's nice and central. Have a look at it from all angles before you decide that you're happy with it. The easiest way is an old pair of knitting needles or skewers or any sort of very thin stick, and I'm going to push it in the top of the head and push it right the way down so it's going through into the body. I will go through one of the natural holes, not through all the woolen threads, otherwise you'll end up with broken wool at the top. And it's easy to use two at different angles. We're going to push one in one way and one in the other. If you don't have anything you can use, then you could use pins, or you could just hold it on, or you could use any sort of pegs or clips, just something to keep it still. Just makes it easy while you're trying to work, because otherwise if you sew all the way around you may find that the head's not quite straight. So again, once you've even done that, have a look at your head, make sure it's central, the marker's at the top, the head is in a good position that you're happy with before you do your first stitch. Now this is the same technique we're going to use for all of the sewing up. I find it gives the neatest finish. We don't want to ruin your giraffe by having ugly stitches. I'm going to thread the needle and I'm going to go in and come out here just to get rid of that ugly knot. So I can pull that knot so that it's disappeared on the inside. And then what we're going to do is go through one stitch on the head. You see I've gone in, behind and then back out, one round and pull. And then I'm going to do virtually the same thing here, just going in through one stitch. And then if we more or less do that all the way around, going to the next one, level like that. You can do them loosely, because then after 3 or 4 stitches, what we're going to do is pull it up tighter. So we're just going to pull it like that. We don't want to pucker it and have it really tight and dragged, but we don't want it so that it's loose. So when I pull it, look, it's nice and firm. And what we're going to do is sew all of the way around like this, going in every single stitch. We're not going to miss lots out, pulling it firmly. I tend to go around twice, which probably is a little bit over, because it's generally pretty secure after one round. I'd really suggest that if it's for a child, we know how rough sometimes younger children can be with toys, pulling them around. I'll go around twice just to completely make sure that the head is not going to come off, and always just keep an eye on it. But I've not had one come off yet, and my little boy tends to, when he was younger, he played with them quite rough. Doesn't so much now, but you want it nice and secure so it's not going to start pulling off. And the same with all the parts, especially the small parts. So that's why we embroider all the eyes, just to make them safer. But you can actually use the plastic safety eyes if it's for a child over 3, or if you just like the look of them better and it's not for a child. So we're going to go all of the way around. And so I would go around twice just to really make sure. You should find doesn't take you too long once you get used to it. So we're just doing 1 stitch horizontally on the head, followed by 1 on the body, and just going all the way around. And then if you look, it's pretty neat. You can't really see the join. There are other methods, but I've used lots, and this tends to look the neatest and be very, very strong. So going all the way around. So that's the method you'll use for sewing on all the limbs. With the arms and legs, you do the same. You do 1 stitch front, one stitch vertically on the arm, 1 stitch vertically on the body, and I tend to go all the way around the top and then lift it up and go all the way around the bottom. Now what I'm going to do next is pin all of the rest of the items on, all of the rest of the body, and then I'm going to come back and show you how I've pinned them, so you can see the positioning, which it does show photographs on the pattern, but I'll show all the positioning. And then I will just show you sewing on the eyes so you can finish it off. But the sewing method for all of them is exactly the same. We're doing 1 stitch on each. So I'll see you again in a moment when I've done my pinning.